Welcome to Simply Explained English, the podcast where we make learning English easy and fun. And I'm Lisa.
And I am Eric. Let's get started and make English simple together.
In every episode, we explain 5 English words in simple, basic English. Okay, what are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is consistent. Then we will continue with to hesitate and to struggle. Then to turn out, and the final one is throw in the towel.
Okay, let's start with the first word, Eric.
The first word is consistent.
Consistent.
Consistent. Consistent is an adjective. It means doing something in the same way over time. If you are consistent, you do the same thing again and again.
That's right. You can use consistent to describe someone who always does something the same way.
And being consistent is important for success in many areas, like studying or exercising.
Yes, Eric, let me give you an example. She is consistent with her workout routine. This means she exercises regularly and doesn't change her routine.
Another example is, he gets good grades because he is consistent in his studies. This shows he studies regularly and with the same effort each time.
That helps a lot. Are there any grammar rules or special uses for the word consistent, Eric?
Yes, when we use consistent, we sometimes use it with the preposition with. For example, her actions are consistent with her words. This means her actions match her words. Additionally, consistency is the noun form of consistent, and consistently is the adverb form of consistent.
Good grammar tips, Eric. Let's use consistent in a dialogue. Imagine 2 friends talking about their habits.
How do you manage to stay so fit, Sarah?
I'm consistent with my exercise routine. I work out every morning.
That's impressive. I find it hard to be consistent. I only go to the gym sometimes.
It's all about making it a habit. Once you are consistent, it becomes easier.
I'll try to be more consistent with my workouts. Thanks for the tip, Sarah.
That dialogue shows how being consistent can help you achieve your goals, like staying fit.
Exactly, Eric. Consistency is key in many areas of life. Are there things you try to be consistent with?
Yes, Lisa, I try to be consistent with my reading habits. I read a little every night before bed. What about you?
I try to be consistent with my language learning. I practice every day to keep improving.
That's a great approach, Lisa. For our listeners, being consistent can help you make progress in whatever you are trying to achieve.
Indeed, Eric. Being consistent builds habits and brings success over time.
I completely agree, Lisa. Okay, we learned that consistent means doing something the same way over time. Remember, listeners, to use consistent to describe someone or something that is always the same.
All right, let's move on to the next word.
The next word is to hesitate.
To hesitate.
To hesitate. It's a verb, and it means to pause or think twice before doing something because you are generally nervous or not sure.
That's right, Eric. When you hesitate, you stop for a moment because you are not sure whether you should do something or not.
Yes, and it's a common feeling when you make a decision or speak in front of people.
For example, she hesitated before answering the question. This means she took a moment to think because maybe she was unsure.
Another example is, he didn't hesitate to help his friend. This means he helped his friend immediately, without any delay with confidence. This is a good example of the usage of hesitate in a positive meaning. Also, note that to hesitate is usually followed by the base form of the verb. For example, to hesitate to speak, or to hesitate to decide.
Good grammar points, Eric. Let's put to hesitate into a dialogue. Imagine 2 friends talking about a job interview.
How did your job interview go, Jake?
It went well, but I hesitated a bit when they asked about my previous job.
Why did you hesitate?
I wasn't sure how to explain why I left, but I managed to answer after a moment.
It's normal to hesitate in interviews. Don't worry about it too much.
That dialogue shows how Jake hesitated because he was unsure about his answer.
Exactly, Eric. It's common to hesitate when you feel nervous or uncertain. Do you have any tips to avoid hesitating, Eric?
Yes, Lisa. One tip is to practice what you want to say or do. This can help you feel more confident and less likely to hesitate. What about you, Lisa?
I agree, Eric. Preparing in advance and staying calm can really help reduce hesitation.
It's important for our listeners to remember that everyone hesitates sometimes. It's a normal part of making decisions and speaking.
Absolutely, Eric. We hope this discussion helps our listeners understand how to use to hesitate. Okay, it's time to explain the next word. What's the next word, Eric?
The next word is to struggle.
To struggle.
To struggle. To struggle is a verb, and it means to try very hard to do something difficult.
Can you give us an example sentence with the word to struggle?
Sure. In the first example, she struggles to understand math. This means she finds math difficult and tries very hard to understand it.
The second example could be, he struggled to lift the heavy box. This means he found it hard to lift the box because it was very heavy.
It's a good example, Lisa.
Are there any grammar rules or special uses for the word to struggle, Eric?
Yes, when we use a noun after to struggle, we use with after struggle, like struggle with homework, math, etc. Or if we use a verb after struggle, we use to, like struggle to do something. For examples, struggle to finish on time.
And the noun form of to struggle is the same. It's a struggle too. For example, it was a terrible struggle for him to accept her death. Or, she never gave up her struggle to free her son from prison.
These are very useful and good examples, Lisa. Now, let's hear an example dialogue using the word to struggle.
Hey Mia, how is your science project going?
I'm struggling to finish it. It's so hard.
What part are you struggling with?
I'm struggling with the second part. It's not working as it should be.
Maybe I can help you. Let's look at it together.
That was a nice dialogue. What do you think about it, Eric?
I think it shows how people can struggle with difficult tasks, like Mia with her science project.
Yes, and Sam offers to help Mia with her struggles. Do you have any tips for people who struggle with their work?
Sure, it's important to ask for help when you struggle. Also, take breaks and try to stay calm.
That's a good tip. Eric, can we use to struggle in positive situations too?
Yes, we can. For example, she struggled to reach her goal, but she did it in the end, shows a positive outcome after a struggle.
Got it. Thank you for explaining it, Eric.
You're welcome, Lisa. Struggling is a part of learning and growing. We all struggle sometimes.
Okay, let's move on to our next word, Eric.
The next word is to turn out.
To turn out.
To turn out. To turn out is a phrasal verb. It means to happen or develop in a particular way, often unexpectedly.
That's right, Eric. It can be used to describe how a situation ends or the result of something.
Yes, for example, you can say, the party turned out great. This means the party was a success.
Another example is, it turns out she was right. This means that, in the end, everybody understood she was correct.
A grammar point to note is that to turn out is often followed by an adjective. For example, it's turned out great, boring, etc. Or, I promise everything will turn out well. The second form is that it is followed by to do something. For example, she thought she was pregnant, but it turned out to be a false alarm. The last one is turn out that, like, it turned out that I was wrong.
Very detailed and informative examples, Eric. Thank you.
You are most welcome, Lisa. I hope our viewers understand how to use it.
Now, let's hear a sample dialogue using the word turn out. Imagine two friends talking at a park.
How was your trip to the beach, Mary?
It turned out to be great. The weather was perfect.
That's awesome. Did you do anything special?
Yes, we went swimming and had a picnic. It turned out that my friend was there too.
Wow, that sounds fun. I'm glad it turned out well.
That was a nice dialogue. Why do you think Mary said the trip turned out to be great, Eric?
I think Mary said the trip turned out to be great because it was better than she expected. The weather was perfect and she had fun.
Yes, that's right. And she also said it turned out that my friend was there too.
Exactly. This shows how we can use turn out to talk about a surprising or unexpected result.
Can we use to turn out for negative situations too?
Yes, we can. For example, the movie turned out to be boring, or it turned out the man was not a real doctor. These examples show a negative outcome.
Got it. Thank you for explaining, Eric.
To turn out is a useful and common phrasal verb for discussing results and outcomes. Okay, let's explain our last word today. The last word is throw in the towel.
Throw in the towel.
Throw in the towel. To throw in the towel is an idiom, and it means to give up or quit something because it is too difficult.
It comes from boxing, where a trainer throws a towel into the ring to stop the fight and save the boxer from getting hurt.
Yes, Lisa, it comes from boxing. Let me give an example sentence. After trying to fix the car for hours, he finally threw in the towel. It means he stopped trying to fix the car because it was too difficult.
Another example is she was losing the game, so she decided to throw in the towel. This means she quit the game because she was losing.
We use throw in the towel to talk about giving up, usually in a difficult situation.
Now, let's hear an example dialogue using the phrase, throw in the towel. Imagine a conversation between two friends, Mike and Jenny, at a coffee shop.
Jenny, how is your new job going?
Honestly, Mike, I feel like throwing in the towel. It's really tough.
Why do you want to throw in the towel?
The tasks are too hard and I feel overwhelmed.
Don't throw in the towel yet. Maybe you just need more time to adjust.
That was a nice dialogue. Eric, can we use throw in the towel in situations that are not too serious?
Yes, we can. For example, I wanted to learn to play the guitar, but it was too hard, so I threw in the towel. It doesn't have to be a serious situation.
Got it. Thank you for explaining, Eric.
You're welcome, Lisa. Throw in the towel is a useful phrase to describe giving up. So, to all our listeners, try not to throw in the towel too quickly. Sometimes, a little more effort can make a big difference.
That's great advice, Eric. And that brings us to the end of this episode.
Yes, thank you for listening to Simply Explained English. We hope you learned something new today.
We hope you enjoyed learning with us and found it helpful.
Remember to practice using the new words and phrases we talked about.
If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to make a comment.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.